Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name's Richard Foster from Strom, and for those of you who don't know, I'm Elliot and Jack from Paul's Trading's older, more attractive brother, or Paula's son, depending on who you know at Paul's Trading. And I've helped them put together supportmax Canine, or supportmax Dog, as it's being called around here. Based on the needs, I've got a 9-year-old collie, Kelpie Cross, who has a little bit of an issue with her hip. And I attended Crufts a couple of years ago at the invitation of my mum, and I couldn't believe how poorly formulated and overpriced a lot of the existing products on the dog market were, as well as having very little consideration towards the efficacy of the ingredients in canines, and little real thought into crossover effect between product and ingredients. And I thought this is something that I do every day with my brand for people, and I'm confident with some input from some experts that we can do a much better job for dogs at a reasonable price. So I'll run through very briefly supportmax Canine. Now, we make a product called supportmax Joint for humans, and we have done for years. The product says on it, not for human consumption. And it says that because it's a dog product, we have to put that on it. But it's actually produced in exactly the same facility to the exact same standards as our human product. Obviously, there were some changes to the formula to make it suitable for animals, but the actual processes are the same. So I would quite happily use this myself if I wanted a chicken flavored joint supplement. We do this for humans in both a powder and a capsule, but because the powder is quite stainy, we tend to recommend that humans use the capsules. Capsules for a dog are a pain in the ass, so a powder is the most suitable approach. My dog's a very fussy eater, and I found this actually is quite a good way of getting her to eat her food as well. Just use a teaspoon, sprinkle it over her food, and she wolfs it down, because it does taste, it's chicken flavour, and it seems to be very well tolerated by all of the dogs that we've used it with in testing. Anyway, what I've found within the dog industry is there are lots of products that use ingredients that are quite good, but the dosing seems to be very, very poor and not scaled correctly for pets. The active ingredients here, there are 6 active ingredients, and they're all dosed really, really well. So we've got type 2 collagen. Now, collagen is the most abundant protein in the body. It's not a protein that's very useful for building muscle, but it is a protein that's very good for helping in the recovery of ligaments and tendons. It's what they're primarily made up of. Type 2 collagen, marine source collagen, is the one that's probably the most bioavailable for that purpose. Glucosamine sulfate is the next ingredient up, 1,000 milligrams. Glucosamine is involved in the integrity of joints, particularly the bit in here where the cartilage is rubbing against each other. It helps with the replenishment of that. The big ticket item in this product is an ingredient called hydrocurc. Now, hydrocurc is an ingredient that we import from the States. It's a water-soluble form of curcumin. So it's a form of curcumin that dissolves in water. If you are interested in the science of that, I can send you, or if you go onto a website called Strom Mutation, you go to supportmax Joint for humans, there's a data sheet there, and it shows you the difference in regular curcumin versus hydrocurc. But needless to say, the bioavailability of hydrocurc is massively, massively higher. Curcumin, to be bioavailable in any mammal, normally needs a CYP3A2A inhibitor with it. It needs black pepper extract with it. Now, black pepper extract is not something I'd be willy-nilly throwing into a product for dogs. It can cause some sensitivity to stomach. Also, they're very sensitive to the flavour of it. So we negate the need for black pepper extract to make that curcumin bioavailable by using a water-solubilized curcumin, i.e. hydrocurc, which is dosed very, very well. You've got 500 milligrams of that. There are competitive products out there with regular curcumin, which isn't bioavailable anyway for dogs, or for humans, any mammal really. And I've seen it in dog products at doses as low as 10 milligrams, which is just utterly, utterly worthless. You've got 250 milligrams of cissus. Now, cissus is an ingredient that reduces joint pain and bone pain, and it's been used to promote bone healing in animals and humans. You've got 200 milligrams of vitamin C. Now, the vitamin C is really only there to help the glucosamine do its job better. That's it. That's all that's there for. And then you've got 200 milligrams of hyaluronic acid. Now, hyaluronic acid is involved in the replenishment of synovial fluid. That's the lubricant in the joints of a human or a dog or a cat, any mammal. And hyaluronic acid is used to replenish that. Fantastic ingredient, no safety concerns with it whatsoever. But it is something that in competitive products I've seen as low as 2 milligrams. Again, pointless. So 200 milligrams in there, a really effective dose. What you've got with this product is, in the short term, curcumin is absolutely mind-blowingly good at taking away inflammation. And a lot of joint issues in humans and in animals are related to inflammation. So the curcumin takes away inflammation really, really effectively. And then that allows the cissus and the glucosamine and the hyaluronic acid to help repair joint integrity, prevent aches and pains. The product can be used if someone, or if a dog has a shoulder problem, a hip problem, whatever. In my opinion, prevention is better than cure. It'd be better used, particularly in working dogs and agility dogs, things like that, before they develop problems. A couple of things to be aware of. It is a powder. There is a scoop in there, but if you get the powder on your fingers, because curcumin is extracted from turmeric, it's bright yellow. If you get it on your fingers, it will stain your fingers because it's a water-soluble version. It's particularly bad for that. So I normally recommend using a teaspoon. There is a dosing guide on the tub kind of explaining how it's used for a small, medium or large dog. So start out at a very low dose. Make sure your dog's got a good supply of water available. Sprinkle it over the food and then immediately rinse off the teaspoon to avoid getting that powder on anything else. One of the things I'm expecting people to say, because not everyone will see this, is that it stains things. We had it when we first released supportmax joint for humans, and it's one of those things, if it's the nature of the beast, there's really no way around. There is no more effective ingredient for joint health than curcumin, particularly hydrocurc, and the downside to that is that it will stain things if they touch them. So it's just a little bit of care in handling once you get used to how to utilize it. And you remember to use a teaspoon, rinse it off, and don't rub it on your face, you'll be grand. If you've got any specific problems about the technical aspects of the product, feel free to direct them to myself. If you've got any products that are if you've got any questions that are related to dog things, ask the guys at Paws Trading. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this answers a lot of the questions that have been floated around, and look forward to hopefully seeing some of you at a show over the summer.